Father this morning. Father, we just ask that you fill this room this morning. Let your presence be known. Let us
blessings. We thank you for everything that we have and everything that we are. We come here this morning to humbly lay it all down and sacrifice to you, for you are the greatest King we could ever serve. Thank you, God, for all the good that you do for us, for everything that you work in our favor. Continue to work inside of us, Father God. Amen. Welcome, Real Life Church. Good to see you guys here this morning. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It's finally summer, right? But of course, we all know how busy it gets when it finally becomes summer. I went to 3-4 different parties yesterday. 3 parties. And Kira's second national anthem at a ball game. So it was a busy day yesterday. But that's what summer can sometimes bring. It's just activities. Let's not get caught up in the activities. Our agenda. This summer, let's try to pay attention and be focused on God's agenda, God's purpose, God's desired activities for us. We need to submit ourselves and be led by God. Because summer, as we all know, is a time of harvest, right? Any farmers in the house? Summer's a time of harvest. This is when the crops grow up, and this is when we go and we reap it and we bring it in. So as laborers in the field, we need to be paying attention. We need to be harvesting what God is raising up. All right? So just be thinking this summer, what can I do for you, Lord? How can I work for you, Lord, to bring in what you've produced to help further your kingdom? We give a little differently here at Real Life Church. We've got a couple buckets up front. We've got a box in the back. If you feel like sacrificing monetarily this morning, if God is leading you to do that, you can drop a check or money or whatever in the bucket. We also have online giving at our website, reallifejtown.com. You can go there, give online. That's pretty much it. But welcome. You can do that anytime during worship. But if nothing else, continue to worship God in everything at all times. In Jesus' name, amen.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall. you say that forever we will be singing, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. And we desire to give you glory here and now. God, in our circumstances, in our hurt, in our pain, God, in our happiness and in our joy. God, we give you glory in our workplace. We give you
as they came back, and they were all amazed at what they were doing throughout the region, right? All the miracles that they were doing, casting out demons, bringing people to Jesus. And he says to them, I give you all authority that my Father's given me. That's been passed down to us, people. We have the authority to produce miracles as long as he's getting the glory. We have the authority to cast out demons as long as he gets the glory. For those of you who are here at Deeper Friday night, John Bode was up here speaking about the many demons in his life. The demon of addiction in all forms, alcohol, drugs, sex, all of those things that were holding him back. Jesus gave him the power and authority to cast it out. Not anybody. There were people that were there for him, but there was no person on this earth that gave him that. Just Jesus Christ. Just God. Seek it and you will find it. Amen? Amen. Awesome. REALiFE Church, thank you, worship team. That was good stuff. Thank you, God, for what you do, how you speak, how you talk to us through those times. We're going to transition on into the message. Kids, you are dismissed for Children's Church. Follow Ryan Bentley in the back. If you don't know where you're going, good luck. I'm sure there's people to ask along the way. All right. Good to see you guys. So, really quick, I'm going to do a little selfish plugging here. There is a production element to what goes on in here on a Sunday morning to help with the service. And I know some of you in the past have maybe approached me about it, but my mind is all over the place on a Sunday morning at any given time. So if you talk to me on Sunday, sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't. But lighting and projection are two areas where we're looking for some service. If you're kind of a technically inclined person and you feel like maybe that's an area where you can help out, we try to have everything prepared and in there ahead of time, so really it's a point and click for the most part. However, I would gladly like to teach some of you how to put some of those things in there, how to make some of that happen so that you can start to develop that and maybe take over someday or work myself out of a job. If that's an area where you're feeling called to ministry, lighting and projection, let me know after the service. I'd love to get some info and try to work on developing some more people in that. We've got, meet and greet. That's coming up the end of this month. Was it June 25th? Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
June 25th, meet and greet. If you're kind of new here, you've only been coming here for, a week or two or a couple weeks. You want to get to know some people. We tend to do it right out in the lobby, out there right after the service. And it's just a time to kind of meet some of the leaders in the church. It's time to just fellowship and kind of hear our heart, share your heart, and connect and get involved. All right, so that meet and greet's coming up June 25th. And the Campfire series is kicking off here pretty soon. June 28th, that Wednesday, the following Wednesday is the first beginning of our Campfire series. We're working on all of the different locations. It's on Wednesday, it's in the evening, and it's in multiple locations around the area. We try to figure out who has a house in a convenient location, and then we beg them to let us use their yard. But I think for the most part, we've got it sort of figured out. We know where people are going to be going. We've just got to get you guys those details. But that's what we do in the summer around here. Tim Smart, come on up on stage. Pastor Tim's bringing the word. I'm ringing like a villain. Hey, Brendan, can you turn this down a little bit back there? Would you mind? I think it's number 23 on the fader board there. Mixer. Because I am hot. Hey, there we go. That's a little more reasonable. Anyway, so Pastor Tim bringing, we're still in the Spirit series, so he's going to tell us how we can walk in the Spirit. Hopefully, in some way or another.
One step at a time. It's really it. It really is. One step at a time, one day at a time. There's no microwave solution for learning how to be a Jesus follower. I give you 3 easy steps, bing, bang, boom, and then, it's all, the cat's out of the bag, and we got this made in the shade and all these different cliches that we like in our American culture. Don't we like it quick and easy?
Yeah.
Give me a book, and I'll read the first chapter, and then, I'm on to the next, and that kind of thing. And there really is no microwave solution to growing up in Christ. It is step by step, season by season, walking it out with a body of people, and we grow over time. And I wish I could just tell you how to just take that big jump, but it really is day by day. So I just want to give you a really quick update before we jump into the Spirit Life series installment that we have for today. Really quick update. We've been talking about, since the beginning of the year, we talked about New Year's revolution. We said that Revolutionary Church has all these different characteristics. And one of them was they embraced the movement of the Holy Spirit. They embraced the activity of the Holy Spirit. That's why we're having the Spirit Life series. But there was another one we talked about. We said the early church, the Revolutionary Church, was extremely generous. They had extreme generosity, and we define that as generosity that only makes sense from a kingdom mindset. And so one of the things I said was, Real Life Church is going to be an extremely generous church. We're going to give and give and give. We're going to be generous to our city, to our region, to our pastors, praise the Lord. We're going to be generous to the people that gather here, people that need assistance in different ways. And we're just going to be a church that is extremely generous. And I was saying that by faith because up until that point, we've been generous but not extremely generous. And in order for us to do that, we all have to grow in generosity. We talked about that. Well, I'm happy to report last week we had Reach One, Reach a Million, a ministry from Henrietta, New York, and they do short-term missions to, right now, just to Jamaica, but they're going to look around and they're going to expand. But right now they focus on Jamaica, and as they go, they bring the gospel and they build and they do projects and they help out, and they're very generous. Well, they came and they shared last week, and this church, Tim, one of our counters, came up to me and said, should we take an offering? And I hadn't really thought about it much. I wasn't really planning to. And I'm like hemming and hawing, and he says, we should take an offering. And so he just went and got the bucks. I'm like, okay, we're going to do it. It's the right thing to do. And so it was this spontaneous offering that came from the body. I don't always have the good sense to know the right thing to do and how do we do this and what's going on. Someone else had it, and I just knew to get out of the way. He brought the buckets up. We never really said give, but people know what the green buckets are for, and people know how to be extremely generous as you grow in the Lord. And so, someone came and started, and then like we do, people just came and gave and gave and gave and gave. And we started out, this is just relational, we're just getting to know them, to maybe we should take an offering, to $1,500 later and change. I don't know what the change was. That's extremely generous. Then the next night, or that night, we had the Spotos come, and they're missionaries to Italy. And in that case, I did plan to take an offering, but Sunday evening, we've already taken 2 offerings. Sunday morning, the second offering, and now it's Sunday evening, and the crowd is much smaller. There's 25 people here. And we just put out the buckets again. I said, be generous, please. I just put a bucket by the back, by the coffee, and said, please be generous, and give. And that's the one that I gave back, because I knew we needed extra help. And I just set off the cuff, anticipating that it might not be as strong. Well, real life, whatever happens, we'll round it up. We might even double it, is what I said. And next thing you know, we gave $439 some odd that night as the third offering. So where were we at? 1,500 and change, 400 and change. And then I shot out a text to our finance team, because I can't just with a wave of my magic wand, do anything I want. I'm like, hey guys, what do you think? We need to round this up. I was thinking like 600 or maybe even 800, something along those lines, and everybody came back and said, make it 800. So we basically doubled it. Now, so I was extremely generous with what you gave, basically just being faithful to always give. We were able to say, well, let's round it up. Let's make sure we really support them. So put your hands together for yourselves. Amen. Thank you, God, that you made us to be generous. I just want to share that with you because that kind of stuff is happening, and you don't hear about it. You don't necessarily hear about it unless we share. So, awesome job. If I did the math, we probably gave away, what's 800 and 1,500, 2,200? We probably gave away at least as much as we took in our offering. So, I don't know what, tithing is you give 10%, right? We took our offering and gave 100% in addition to it. So, that is the kind of giving I'm talking about when I say extremely generous giving that only makes sense from a kingdom mindset. And so hallelujah, that's good stuff. So let's talk about Spirit Life, shall we? We've been in this Spirit Life series, and we're talking about walking in the Spirit. Galatians 5:25 says, if you live by the Spirit, in other words, if God gave you new life by His Spirit, you've been born again by His Spirit. If we live by the Spirit, we should also walk by the Spirit. In other words, we learn to keep in step. We walk step by step. And so we've been talking about this. We learn to walk just like a child learns to walk. They've got to step away from the coffee table. There's risk involved. They got to get back up when they fall down. But eventually they're going to learn to walk. And so it's step by step we learn to walk. And we talked about how important it is to have the fruit of the Spirit, not just the gifts of the Spirit. Well, today we're going to talk about the gifts of the Spirit, because the gifts of the Spirit, the gifts that God put into every one of His believers, is one of the key, most fundamental things to learning how to walk in the Spirit, to really walking in the Spirit, keeping in line with His plan for you and for His church, is to discover your gifts and really start to operate in them. So I was reading this book, and it really is important to me. It really, shapes the way we look at how do we do church as Real Life Church. And it's called Natural Church Development. And it says this, the principle is, the church will grow all by itself when it is healthy. The church grows all by itself when it's healthy. It's called the all by itself principle. So we don't focus on numbers and how many people are coming, and let's grow and let's get the word out, and let's take out a billboard, even though that would be kind of cool, and let's drive around with a bullhorn and shout out where we meet. We're like the best kept secret in Jamestown that Real Life is up here. And that'll probably change at some point, but the focus has been, how do we get healthy? We need to get healthy. Health is what matters, and when every member discovers their gift and starts to involve themselves in a way that they were created, we get more and more healthy. So I'm reading this book, and I come across this. He says there's 8 different principles, these 8 different things, that if you have these characteristics, kind of like our New Year's Revolution, if you have these characteristics, you're going to be healthy, and the church is going to flourish, and Jesus' name is going to be spread. And there was all these different ones, but there was one characteristic that they found statistically. They surveyed 1,000 different churches, 5 or 6 different continents, all different denominations. So this is a universal principle of God's church. There was one characteristic, one thing that most impacted how a member experiences that church and feels blessed and experiences joy as a result of being connected to that church. Anybody want to take a guess at what it is? What would be the number one most primary thing?
The love of God.
Yeah, love of God, love, that's huge, but that was one of them, loving relationships. And that would be right up there, and maybe that's number 2, but can you get into loving relationships? And there was one small group, holistic small group. Well, that's how you get into loving relationships. So that was up there the ways. But there was just one characteristic. Not giving. Presence of the Holy Spirit. There was inspiring worship, which I would say is because of the presence of the Holy Spirit. That wasn't it. They have an awesome nursery. No, they have a smoking hot band. That wasn't on there. Nowhere on there, smoking hot band. That might factor into inspiring worship, so the worship service is relevant and that really inspires us. Yeah, good music inspires us, but that wasn't a primary thing. The number one characteristic of a healthy church that most impacts a child of God's experience of this is right, I fit, I have joy in my heart, this is bringing life into my soul to be involved with this group, is this: gift-oriented ministry. Do you have, so this is the challenge to me, do you have a system that helps people find their gift and serve in a way that they are God-gifted to serve? That's the number one factor. Now that I say that, does that make sense? You think about it, you're like, wait a minute. I go through my experience, and I think it's different churches I've been involved in, and whenever I felt the most connected, the most alive, is when I was serving God by serving His body in a way that makes sense. Because not every way makes sense, right? I used to serve in the nursery down in Russell. I've told this story before. Megan was the nursery coordinator back then, and she got Carrie, and it made sense. Well, let's have Carrie and Tim work together, you know. And so I would be serving in the nursery, and that just wasn't my fit. And, which is strange, because I'm good with babies. I have lots of them, and well, lots of kids, but they were all babies when they set up. And I would like, you know, be in there and I get so antsy and I didn't really want to be there. And so I want to go somewhere else, and so I would make up excuses. I gotta go get something out of the car, I'll be right back. And then just not come back, you know, just get distracted, be in the hall, you know, listen to the message. And so not everybody fits in that for me was a way that I could serve, but it wasn't my gifting, my real gifting. So finding that fit is so important. So let me just show you a really quick picture, Brady. Pop up that first pic there. I took a few years ago, we took a gifts test. A lot of us took a gifts test. And I'm number 3 down there. And I said, take the test, put your gifts up, top 3, because we don't have just one gift, it's gifts. And let's see what comes out. So you see Nicole Simmons up there had Pastor Shepherd, discernment, serving, and ministering. That's a really cool gift mix. How many of you know we need Nicole to really get into some of these roles in new ways, okay? And then Carrie Smart, there she is, wisdom, prophecy, discernment. Isn't that an awesome pastor's wife? Does it sound like she's just a pastor's wife?
No.
Probably not. Probably a lot more than that. Wisdom, prophecy, discernment. How about Tim Smart? I'm the pastor here. I'm the lead pastor. So here's my gift mix. Leadership, teaching. I'm the one that put 5 up there. Knowledge, donuts, coffee. This has been up there a while. So you guys know I do donuts and coffee really well. It's a gift. It's a specialty. It's how I get connected. But look at that. Leadership, teaching, and knowledge. What's like really missing there if you're going to be the pastor of a church? Pastoring, right? Pastoral gifting. And I remember putting that up there, and I thought, well, this is good. I like these gifts. They're really good. I need to be able to lead. I got to be able to teach. And that word of knowledge, that is powerful stuff, you know, to really unlock what's in people and stuff like that. But I thought, well, why would pastoring be higher? I'm a pastor, really. And then I realized, hey, well, look at Nicole's got Pastor Shepherd in her. Look at Sandy right under me, Sandy Walrod. Mercy, pastoring, faith. Pastoring. Caring for people, helping them grow, looking after them. So there's definitely some pastors around. Faith, mercy, serving. Let's see. Sherry Grace, Pastor Shepherd, number 1, her top gift. And if you then, she got faith. That's true as can be. And she had a tie between exhortation and prophecy. That's also very true. So we go down the list, and I can stop there. The church is loaded with gifts, aren't they? The church is loaded with gifts. Go to Ephesians 4. Ephesians 4. I want to take it right from the top real quick. And I realized I don't have to be, terribly gifted at pastoring. I need to unlock and organize and get the people that are gifted. It's their main thing or their second main thing. Get them to be able to use their gifts to reach each other. So Ephesians 1 says this. Ephesians 4 verse 1 says, Therefore, a prisoner of the Lord, I, therefore, a prisoner of the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called. So Paul's starting right out. Now listen, I'm going to tell you where this is going. This whole section, you got to take it in context. This whole section of Scripture is actually going to be talking about the gifts of the body. Every member using their gifts, and when everybody does, it builds the whole body up. So this is the context. He's saying, walk in a manner worthy of your calling. Kind of like walk in the Spirit. Learn to walk in the Spirit. If you're going to walk in a manner worthy of your calling, Jesus has called you to new life. Jesus has called you to grow up in Him and be transformed, be more like the Son of God. If we're going to start to do that, Paul's saying, we're going to have to discover our gifts. So keep reading. With all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love. Eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit and the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit. Just as you were called to the one hope that belongs to your call. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. So automatically he's saying, like we said last week, it's more important to be spiritually fruited than spiritually gifted. The way we're going to walk this out, humility, gentleness, patience, unity. Now let's not talk about the gifts until we talk about the fruit. And we did that. And then I saw it in Ephesians and hey, that's good. Must be that's in the Bible. So verse 7. Listen to this though. This is where it starts to talk about the gifts. But grace, everybody say grace.
Grace.
But grace was given to each one of us. That's you. And you and you and you and you and me. Each one of us. Grace has been given to us. But grace was given to each one of us according to the measure of Christ's gift. Therefore it says, now he's quoting the Old Testament, verse 8. Therefore it says, when He ascended on high, He led a host of captives, and He gave gifts to men. Jesus, when He was raised from the dead, He was ascended on high, He was seated at the right hand of the Father, and what does it say He did? He gave gifts, which is His grace, poured out to men. If you go to Acts chapter 2, we don't need to go there, but you see Peter preaching the very first message, and he says, this is that which was spoken of by the prophet Joel, that God is pouring out His Holy Spirit. He's giving the gift of the Holy Spirit. Go back and read that, Acts 2. The grace of God is poured out by the Spirit of God being poured out on us. And it's our giftings, it's our calling. Jump down to verse 11. This is a slow burning fuse, but it's just about to get good here. And He gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the shepherds and teachers to equip the saints for the works of ministry. So He gave leaders, right? And so He gave men and women that have certain gifts and characteristics and traits all bound up in them, and He gave them. And so you'll hear someone preach and say, the pastors and the evangelists, they are God's gift to the body. So they're a gift to the body. But I want to tell you something, we're all a gift to the body. We're going to see it in just a second. He gave them with a specific purpose. Verse 12, to equip the saints for the works of ministry. Who's called to do the works of ministry? The saints. Who are the saints? Raise your hand if you're a saint. Someone was like, is this a trick question? I don't trust you at all. Because you have tricked me way too many times. Listen, if you are a child of God, you have the righteousness of Christ. You are a saint, not a sinner. You may struggle, you may not be perfect, and I didn't say who's perfect, raise your hand. I said the saints, raise your hand. All the children of God are called to the works of ministry, for building up the body of Christ until we all attain to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to mature manhood, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. He wants his body to fully represent and look just like Jesus, so that we may no longer be children, tossed to and fro by the waves and carried about by every wind of doctrine, by human cunning, by craftiness and deceitful schemes. Rather, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ. So Jesus is saying, I gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors and teachers to unlock what's in the saints. And when that happens, the whole body is built up. The whole game plan for the church is that what's inside of you starts to figure out how to get out, how to come out in practical ways and make a difference. That's the whole game plan. But watch this, verse 16. We're growing up into Christ the head, from whom the whole body, joined and held together by every joint. Everybody say every joint.
Every joint.
Every joint. That's every one of us. Every one of us. By every joint with which it is equipped. The body is equipped with you. You're the equipment. Not really the pastors and teachers. I mean, they are. But we've always said, God gave the pastors. They're the gift. And the truth is, no, we're all the gift. God has gifted the body with you. He puts you in the body. You are a joint. You are a ligament. You are a member. You're part of the equipment. By every joint with which it is equipped, when each part is working properly, and no time sooner, when each part is working properly, it makes the body grow, so that it builds itself up in love. What is the key in that passage to the body growing and building itself up? The all by itself principle. What's the key thing there? Each part doing what it was designed to do. Have you ever thought of that? That you are a gift to the body of Christ? Some of us would say probably not, right? I mean, you don't think that way about yourself. Like, God gave the body a me. And without a me in it, it's not going to be functioning right. It's every part doing what it was designed to do. That's my challenge as a pastor teacher. Not how do I... See, that was the thing. Like we put on pastors. We call pastors, the main leader who gets the salary, and it's kind of like leading the church. They've got to do this, and that. They got to visit the sick. They got to pray for the sick, and they got to go to the hospital, and they got to do the weddings, and they got to do the funerals, and they got to do all these things, and they got to preach, and they got to organize the whole thing, and they got to administrate everything, and they got to set up the video camera, and they got to do it all. Because that's what we pay them to do that, right? They do the works of ministry. Is that what it said? I mean, is that what it sounds like? I mean, that's really what happens. The board says, in a kind of like an old school church, we hired you to do this and that. How many people have you visited this week? You got to do this pastor work. And then I realized it's not up there anymore, but I don't have that gift that strongly. I can do it. I get by. Some of you know I visited you. I've done funerals for some of you here. Not some, you know what I'm saying? That's some of you.
Oh my gosh.
Right, Lois? I did a funeral for Lois, sort of like her brother, really. It was her brother. I hated that. I'm being honest. I didn't want to do that because it's not really my gift. I like weddings. They don't have cake and coffee.
Oh my gosh.
Weddings are awesome. I love weddings. Funerals I don't like. We need to unlock what's in the body of Christ. That's actually our mission statement. Our vision is we want to see our city and region transform when Jesus is Lord in every heart. How are we going to do that? We're going to communicate the gospel to the unchurched by unlocking the creative potential of the children of God. In other words, we're going to plant a church. But not some old religious thing, some kind of old-fashioned, this is how we do it. No, we're gonna each of us find our fit. Each of us find, why did God put me here? Why did He weave me into this group? And when that happens, the cat will be out of the bag. So here's the bottom line. Bottom line today. God's design for the body, and I should say His body. God's design for His body is you. God's design for His body is you. Therefore, keeping in step with the Spirit means finding your fit in His design. The Holy Spirit has designed, let's just say real life. This is our little segment of it, okay? Designed real life to be a fully operational body, fully functioning, every member supplying what it can supply and what they're created to do. And He's designed it to need one of you. I don't want any more than one of each of you. You know, like it doesn't do to have two, just one. One is perfect. One is perfect. I say Dan and Helena. I don't see that they're here today. Sure, boo, yes, no. Dan and Helena, they came to us probably eight months ago. And where they had been worshiping, it just wasn't a fit for them. Wonderful congregation. God is moving. They're great people. But they didn't quite fit. The way they just didn't fit. Trying to do what they were wanting to do, it just wasn't in alignment. And I said, we had a Dan and Helena shaped hole in our heart, in our congregation. It really was, that's what it was. It really was. And so they fit in here, and so they're starting to grow into what they're called to do, which lines up with what we're called to do. And we couldn't have done it until they got here, which is hosting the concerts and things that we're doing. We got Ryan Stevenson coming up soon. That's Dan and Helena stepping into what God has for them, and therefore real life is stepping into what God has for us. Bottom line, God designed the body. God's design for the body is you. Therefore, keeping in step with the Spirit means finding your fit in His design. Are you guys with me so far? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that does not believe about that about themselves, raise your hand, you know. You are called. It says in Ephesians 2:10, we are His masterpieces, created in Christ for good works, which He foreordained that we should walk in. That is the word of the Lord. You are a masterpiece. He created you exactly the way that He wanted to. He designs you with an exact set of giftings, and you have a fit. And He's foreordained good works He wants you to walk in. That's the Word of God, Ephesians 2:10. It applies to every single believer. So let's do this. I want to talk about 3 ways to find your fit, because a lot of us are saying, well, that's great, I agree with you, but I don't really know how to find my fit. I've been trying to do this. It hasn't been working. It hasn't always worked. I'm trying to do this. Give me some help here. What are 3 ways to find your fit? Anybody say that in your mind? What are exactly 3 ways to find my fit? Okay, well, I'm going to give them to you. This is important, okay? Because what we do is we kind of hold back and we kind of wait. And if I only knew what my fit was, then I'd get involved. But the first way is this. Serve your way forward. Number 1, serve your way forward. What does that mean? That means get started. It's time to get started. 1 Peter 4:10, talking about the gifts of God and His body. It says, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. What is He saying? Use your gift, whatever gift you have. Well, you know you got lots of gifts. Whatever gift you have, use it to do what? Serve others. The use of the gift is to serve others. God has gifted the body through you. We think the gifts are to us. No, the gifts are through us. The gift is for you to serve others. And we steward that grace. It's really not up to anybody else. Stewardship means it doesn't belong to me, but I'm responsible for it. If you're a steward, someone puts their business under your control. You don't really own it, but you're responsible for the results. That's what stewardship is. And so I've heard there was this church that I was aware of. It's up in Rochester. They were going to go to a branch out and do like a campus, and so they had to have cameras and lights and smoke and mirrors and the whole 9 yards, and they had to double their team, you know. And so they needed everybody to get involved, everybody to serve. This is what they said. They said, if you can do it better than no one, you have the job. They were serious too. They weren't being funny. They're like, we need help. And sometimes we're like, well, I'm not really gifted that way. You don't need to be gifted that way to serve. It's serving. It's doing what you can. If you can do it better than no one, you got the job. Right now, today we had a 12-and-a-half-year-old, my son Brady, and a 10-year-old running lights.
All right.
That's what's up. And we'll find out whether that's really their gifting, but they're serving. Well, has it gotten okay, you know? So I have an example for you. For me, this was just impressed me. Like at Deeper Night of Worship, we didn't have anybody lined up for projection, and I said, "Jerry, what's your plan?" He says, "I'm going to run it." I said, "But you're running sound," and he said, "I'm going to run sound, lights, and projection." And I said, "I also want you to be the MC that introduces John Bogue, our speaker, because they're friends. They have a connection." And so I thought, well, this will be interesting. It might even be funny. So I was just going to see how that went. I said, this is good. This is one of those experiences. And partway through the first song, I'm like, come on, one time. Yeah, come on. I was halfway through the first. And I look up, and Jordan's like trying to do some mixing on the iPad. He's at the mix up there, and I'm like, how are you going to do all this? And I thought, well, this is going to be good, you know? And then all of a sudden I realized, Carrie says, shouldn't you go up there and help him? No. I don't want to. I want to see how this goes. I think this is good. This is a blessing for Jordan. I want to rob it from him. And that's kind of like the leader side, you know, like we empower people, let them grow, let them do stuff. The pastor probably would have felt bad and, you know, man, I don't want him to be so stressful. I don't have a lot of that. So, But all at once, it's just like, it wasn't like God spoke to me. It's just like, your eyes just open up like, oh, I can do that better than Noah. I can't really do it better than Jordan, but I can do it better than him if he's doing 4 other things at the same time. And so I popped up there, I sat down, I got a one good operational left finger, that's what you click the mouse with. It's the same finger as the one you push the button to flip through the light cues. So I did it. I did it that night. And I discovered, it's probably not my main gifting, but I could do it better than no one, and so I did it. And I actually had a good time. It was kind of fun. I thought, well, there's a lot to this. This is something I could learn if I wanted to. So serve first, serve your way forward. We all can serve in various ways. If you're lucky, you have the gift of service and you discover your gift all at once just like that. It's an easy process. So, but number 2, use the gifts you were born with. We all were born with certain gifts. We know what they are, generally. I mean, we know what we're good at, what we're not. Those things that you're good at, it's just natural talent. Find a way to get involved that way. You don't have to take a spiritual gifts test to use the gifts of God's grace in your life that He gave you when you were born. So roll that video for me, Brady.
No.
My son Corey, he's 18 months old and he is born a drummer. He really is. We can't keep him away from this set. That's why I took the video. It was Tuesday. We're having a little meeting up here. He's banging away on that. It's not really appropriate to let the kids run around and use all the equipment. So I had to go get him and I bring him down and he'll go right back up. You can't stop him. There's nothing you can do. So Bernie, show that next picture right there. This is what we have to do. In order to stop him, I got to take this and those stairs, pull them away and turn them sideways. And they have to be far enough away where he won't chance a jump or he might jump to it. And so that's him trying to push it back, but he can't. Give me the next picture and the last picture. See the joy on his face? He's a born drummer. This picture was taken shortly after the one with Rice. Made it so he couldn't get up the stairs. Sitting in the back, we're talking, we're meeting, I hear dang, 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 dang on the drums again. I look up, there's Corey. I'm like, who put the stairs back? Nobody put the stairs back. I'm like, how did he get up there? He went out and he went around. And he came through the back and he came up the stairs. So then I had to take him back down. Shut that door, lock it. Shut that door, lock it. And I thought if he does get out, through here, then so I locked the door to the backstage. And we kept him away. Finally. And that's fun, right? But there are things in every one of us that are gifts of the Spirit. You know, how is it a gift of the Spirit? The Spirit of God was hovering over creation. When God breathed the breath of life, it's the pneumas, the Spirit of life, into man, the life of God was in man. He said, we make man and woman in our image. Male and female, He created them. In the image of God, He created them. We have giftings within us that are ours by virtue of the fact that we were just part of creation, that are really gifts of the Creator. Every one of us, our talents can be used to build God's kingdom. How many of you know a really powerful, good drummer in worship can really drive the beat? They can also mess it all up, right? Drummers are important. In my life, it was guitar and singing. From the earliest days, my parents had a paddle. It was one of those red, it was plywood with the holes drilled through it, and hand like custom paddle, you know, painted red, called the Red Monster. And I would take the Red Monster and play it like a guitar.
Red Monster.
And I made my parents one time. I would cut a guitar out of stuff that the boxes are made out of, cardboard. I had a cardboard guitar. I couldn't play guitar. I just was born to play guitar. One day I met my kindergarten teacher. Years later, I'm an adult, and she was at a Christmas party or something that I was at. She said, "Hey, did you ever grow up and play guitar?" And I go, "Yeah, I've been playing for a long time." That was in me from the beginning. It's innate, born with it. I started using my guitar when I was up at Elam. I could play and I could sing. Never really led worship. And this guy who was, in charge of some things up there, he says, "Hey, I got a job for you. You play, you sing, right?" "Yep." He's like, "I need you to go to this church and lead worship." I can do it better than no one. I wasn't really a worship leader. I didn't know I was. Well, I went. I used my natural talents. God empowered it by His Holy Spirit. All of a sudden, a worship leader is born. It's like, this is working, man. All right, it was good. Went back the next week, same thing. It's like, I can do this. Well, wouldn't you know, one thing leads to another, leads to another. So I have a calling on my life to be a church builder, a church planner, a kingdom man, but I'm using my natural talent that God gave me to do what I can, and one thing leads to another. So we end up at Praise Fellowship, and what do you do with a kid that can play and sing and lead worship? You put them to work, right? So doing a lot of that sort of thing. And in those times of worship, God gave so much revelation, so much truth in His Word He illuminates. So He's lighting up. I'm just using my natural gift. He's empowering me. Spirit's flowing through me, and He's starting to light up the teaching and understanding His Word. He's starting to do all these different things, starting to bring alive prophetic things. And so my point is, you start with what you got, use what you have, and He gives you more. So number 1, serve your way forward. Number 2, use the gifts you were born with. And number 3, find your focus. Your focus is the thing that most defines what part of the body I am. When you take those spiritual gifts tests, that's designed to try to find out what your focus is. You've heard it said of natural gifts, it just comes naturally. Someone says, "Well, how do you do so great at whatever it is?" Well, it just comes naturally. I don't know. It's a gift, right? It's almost second nature. It's the same thing with spiritual gifts. You just say, it just comes supernaturally. It's almost like the new nature in me. Our spiritual gifts, we discover them in almost the exact same way as we discover our natural gifts. Let me give you just really quickly a couple ways of that, and we're going to be done. How do we discover our natural gifts? We just try stuff. Like, how did you learn? Like, some of you are artists, you can draw. How did you learn that you could draw? You go to school and you try it, right? Your teacher says, we're all doing this project. Why? We're not all artists, not really. We have some ability, but some people are really good at it. They're blessed, it just flows, right? We can all grow and learn, but some people it pops, right? And so whoever tried it out and it popped for them and they really loved it and they enjoy it and that's what they want to do, they discover their gifts. You live life, you try things, you get involved, you serve in this way and that way and the next way, and something's going to pop. And that pop, when you feel it, you feel blessed, you feel joy, you feel life. It's just easy for you. And then what happens next? Usually, this is the process. Someone sees it in you. Corey doesn't know he's a drummer. It popped for him. I don't even know how that happened. He takes butter knives out of our dishwasher when we got it open and we're changing the dishes. He takes butter knives out and just start beating on the cabinets. He just wants to drum. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't know that that's not normal. He doesn't know that not every baby does that. see it in him. I can see it as clear as a bell. That kid's a drummer. No two ways about it. So someone sees it in us, and we're connected in small groups, and we're serving on teams. You serve different ways. Someone's going to see it in you. Any of our leaders are going to see it in you. They're going to say, "That's a gift. Do you realize that that's your gift? That's a gift." Do you know when you were praying for that person in that small group, and you started to pray, and it kind of changed qualities. It wasn't really a prayer anymore. It was more of a prophetic thing. You didn't even realize you prophesied, but I saw it. That's how it works. Someone sees it in you. And then, you can take a test. You can take an online test. I'll post one up on Facebook again, on our Facebook group. Or you can just Google them up, and that gives you some ideas. Bottom line, God has a place for you in His body. And this is the truth. I know this is just as clear as a bell. We will never reach where He's calling us to go unless each one of us find our place. We're not going to be a church that raises enough money to hire enough pastors to do enough ministry. It's not what it's going to be. We're going to unlock the creative potential of God's children. Every one of us. That was the first hour. Now the second hour. What do we got? Diane up in the back? Kira, is that you?
Can I share?
Yeah, come on down front, and the band can come forward as well. Kira's going to share. We're going to worship our way out of here, and we're done. She has her own mic, all right. Cool.
It's because my husband's the sound guy. So, So, you all know that I do worship, and worship is my heart, and that's kind of become, it's always been my natural gifting. I love music. We've just been singing nonsense. I was singing, my dad said I was singing before I could talk. Scarlett's been doing the same thing, which is cool. I'm like, ooh, maybe she'll be a singer. There is something that has popped recently for me, just like Tim was saying. I've been serving, I've been doing what I feel like my gift is, which is my heart, and I feel like God has me there. There's a purpose for me there. But ever since we were at Lois's house, and that incredible night that we had with some of the ladies here, we just took time to, I can't see everybody. We just took time to speak into each other's lives as women. And we kind of rested in the Spirit to see if there was anything God had for us to say to each other. And that was, like Tim had said, that was like us just testing it out, just trying it out, let's see what God has to say. And ever since then, I had gotten feelings before about certain things like pregnancies and things like that in people, and different feelings. That's what I kept calling them. But nothing had really started opening up until we tested it out. And I've been getting visions and words, so it's crazy, right? So we have a little Bible study on Mondays, and Helena had suggested this book to read, and it's about prophesying, and I was like, yes, I have to read that. And it was about okay, I'm not going to go into all that, it's just going to take too much time. Long story short, Jordan and I, on Scarlett's birthday, we went to McDonald's on Foot Avenue so the girls could play. We had lunch, he met us there. And while we were there was this woman who had her grandchildren there. And she was chit-chatting it up with us. We were talking and stuff. And Jordan left, he had to go back to work. And eventually I had to leave, and I was like, it was really nice to meet you. I said, God bless. And there was if you say God bless to somebody, sometimes it comes off. You can see it in their face, where it's a little uncomfortable for them. They're like, you can tell there's pain. And I was like, ooh, yikes. I always second guess myself better than I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Of course I should say that. It's just what makes us feel uncomfortable. So I'm walking to the car and I'm putting my girls in the car. And all of a sudden I feel the Holy Spirit say, you need to go ask her if she needs prayer. And I was like, no! No! Did you see, God, did you see how she reacted? I can't do that. Total fear. I was like, no way. I can't do this, God. Give me another way. I'll just pray for her, in the car. We'll just do that. And so I finished buckling Chloe, and I'm standing there, and I'm looking at Chloe, and Chloe's like, why are you still standing there? Just staring at me, Mom. And I was like, oh, gosh, God. Please give me another way. Usually I don't have a problem with this. Usually I can, communicate with people, but I was struggling. Did not want to do this. And I was like, I'm going to be obedient because I'm reading this book and I'm desiring for this. I want to touch people. My heart is to love people, show people love, and show that God loves them. I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I close the door, I lock the car, I walk over, and she picks up the phone right as I'm about to say something. So it's really awkward anyway. I was like, oh, sorry, super weird. And I see him there waiting. I was like, oh man, this couldn't get any more awkward, I feel like. And she puts the phone down and she says, hang on a second. She goes, what's up? And I said, okay, this may seem a bit bizarre, but I felt prodded to ask you if you needed prayer or if you'd like prayer for something. And she just stared at me. I was like, oh my goodness. She just stared at me. She didn't say a word. I was like, well, is it okay if I pray for you? She just kept staring at me. And I was like, is there anything you'd like prayer for? I didn't know what to do. I just kind of kept rewording it. And eventually her face kind of broke down and she said, yeah, actually, there is something I would like prayer for. She's like, my daughter, Elizabeth. And I said, okay, all right. Is there anything in particular? And she said, no, just my daughter, Elizabeth. I'm sure there was something more private to it. And so I got her name, and of course I forgot her name because my focus was on her daughter's name, Elizabeth. And I was like, okay, well, while my daughters and I are driving home, we're going to pray for your daughter. And she looked at me and tears started to form in her eyes. And she said, thank you so much. It was so kind. I have never had anyone do that for me before. This lady's in her 60s. She has lived 60 plus years and has never ever had anyone do that for her before. So I just wanted to encourage you, this is a newfound gifting that God has just poured out on me. And I see such good things in the people of this church. I just had to share what's been going on in my life just to give you a bit of encouragement because this is new. This is brand new. And I know that everyone has their obvious gifts. So start using them because something else will pour out from that. That's all.
Let's all stand here. I wanted to say a quick something as well. Talking about gifts this morning and people serving. Our church is very worship-centered, obviously. Not just worship of music, but worship of the Word. We're about gathering in this place and worshiping God. And when I first started coming here, there was a hole in this church's heart for our team up here. And what it's grown into, I'm so very proud of. I remember being in other churches and scratching to find people, scratching to find another bassist, another drummer, and just piecing it together. And sometimes I just do it myself. but by the gifts of people and by serving and wanting to be a part of this, I have 2 bassists. I have a lot of background singers. I have 2 drummers. I have Kira that can sing and she can play iPad, which sometimes people wonder what she's doing up here with that thing. She's doing this sort of a thing. I have Heidi, she's got a brand new keyboard and she's playing what she's playing. And unfortunately for me today, I got my buddy John up here. He was one of the first guys that I played with on the stage, and he's going to be going to California for the summer, and then he's going to be going to college after that, so he's not going to be able to be up here with us anymore. And eventually, maybe when he comes back down here for a weekend or something, I'd like to have him, but this is his last time up here with me, and I'm just so very thankful for the service of all of you guys up here. It just means a whole lot to me, and it means a whole lot to our church as well, that you guys have put so much effort forth. We practiced on Thursday for Deeper Night of Worship 9 songs. We came Friday night and played 9 songs, and then they came again today. They set aside 3 days of their week just for this. Just because Jesus is worth it.
Amen.
Just because Jesus' name is so beautiful. And that's all we do that for. And I want you guys to know that there is not a selfish heart up here. There's not a selfish heart up here that is doing this for any other reason than to glorify God. So give our worship team a round of applause.
much more to say. Honestly, Tim, that was an anointed word. Kira, that was an anointed example of how that word is lived out. The service of the people here, it really is a blessing to serve with all of you. I feel like, and you guys can go, you're free to go, but if you want prayer for your gifting, if you want prayer if you're not sure what it is, and you want to pray with somebody, come on forward. We'll have prayers up here that'll help pray with you, that'll help seek after that gifting with you. The rest of you, you're free to go. Have a blessed week. And just ask that question throughout the week. God, what is my gift? How can I walk that out? And like Kira's example, once you start walking it out, he'll just start to give you more. He'll start to pour more